Success is 99% failure. Soichiro Honda. My friends, stick with this. You can do it. You just got to do it every day. People say, how long will it take, Tom? It'll take as long as it takes. But the beautiful truth is that when you do get it figured out, when you are able to do it, you'll make up for all the time it took to become the master in short order. Now, let's jump into these charts. We see stocks are up, bonds and gold down, Bitcoin up. Let's look at the S&P 500. We went from a 14 on our success multiplier formula to a 15 when we went from red down on the STC to popping back up, going up, jumped in the morning. We've already put in our 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. We'll see how that plays out for us. Of course, what do we have when it comes to the 2-day? That is moving up nicely. Higher high we see there, green on the STC and green on the STC on the weekly. Things are looking nice. And of course, we look closer, we can see where we bounced off that 200 EMA on the weekly chart, and of course that 2-day pushing through it. So beautiful. What about 20-year bond? 20-year bonds, not yet, almost coming next. What about the Qs? Same thing that happened in the afternoon on the half-day chart, where things went from red to green. So we jumped in then, going long. We'll see how that works out for us. Again, a plus 15 on the success multiplier formula. What does that tell you? That tells you, of course, that the 2-day and the weekly are also in the green on the STC. So that is where we are on stocks. Let's go to bonds. Bonds down a little bit for the day, 0.65%. Again, we're below the 200 EMA. We haven't had things cross over going up to allow us a point to jump back in again. We had things go red. They only went down for a day, popped back up and then down again and then up and down. We're not in that mess. So we'll wait for bonds to sort themselves out. Now remember, we're a green on the STC on the 2-day chart, but we are well below the 200 EMA there. And on the weekly, we are green there too. And again, even with the weekly, we are very far below the 200 EMA. So we'll continue to watch, keep an eye on things where bonds are, see how they finally sort things out. Are the bonds, we already reached up and touched the 200 EMA but did not penetrate it. We'll see where they go, if they're going to square off and move down further. But this little chunky sideways sliding and not really doing much of anything worthwhile, it's not worth the noise in the price movement. So we stay out of that. Now, let's move on to gold. Where are we with gold? Gold down for the day, 0.25%. Gold getting close to that 200 EMA and then sort of burns it off. So burn it off there in the afternoon, up some in the morning, down in the afternoon. We are green on the STC, below the 200 EMA on the half day. On the 2-day, again, moving up. STC is green, below the 200 EMA, but headed that way. We look on the weekly, we bounced off a little while back, bounced off the 200 EMA. So going in the right direction there, just waiting for things to sort their way out on the half day and to push through that 200 EMA to give us clearance to jump into gold. Now, let's lastly move to Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin? Up a little bit for the day, 2.72%. It's just a little bit for Bitcoin. But again, we can see where things popped up in the morning, shaved some of that off in the afternoon. Bitcoin's trying to edge higher and higher. And of course, as we look at things on Bitcoin, let's tighten this up a little bit so you can see. We're below the 200 EMA. We are green on the STC. Again, popped over green, then sort of slid sideways, went red for a little bit, back to green now, waiting for some clean up moves, pushing through that 200 EMA to get us back in. We can see on the 2-day, we're not touching those more recent highs back on the 20th of July, getting really close to that. And what about the weekly? And again, getting up close to touching where we had hit on those highs back on the 18th. And of course, then again, we've been up right around that here lately on the 25th. And we'll continue to watch, wait and see. Want to see Bitcoin blow through that 200 EMA on this half-day chart to give us the ability at some point, hopefully in the not too distant future, to jump in, but we're making no calls on Bitcoin right now. If you tried to do that in the recent past, of course, what has happened to you? You have gotten brutalized. We can see where Bitcoin's played this game before, when it rolled off those highs and came down and gave us a few weeks of some up movement, only to trap a whole lot of people into some major down moves, cutting the value about in half from that 45 mark down to 23. So boom, again, we're going to wait, watch, and see. Let these charts lead us. The charts are wonderful. Patreon members, we did the Patreon question and answer today. It's already been recorded, uploaded on the Patreon. I'm going to send you out an email with it too, but you can get that video at our Patreon page. And of course, if you're not a Patreon member, it means you don't get the once a week charting crypto that we put out on Wednesdays. You don't get the 20 weekly vertical crossovers we put out on Thursday for you to look at and potentially do a practice trade on that on Friday. So again, if you're interested, you appreciate what we do, you can support us any of those 3 levels. And of course, the first thing you get, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way 3-part series. If you're interested in options, this is a good way to start and jump into that practice trading. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.